Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams,
where we scream so you don't scream.
We're your host, Alex.
And Stephanie.
And this week we have a deadly Black Friday shopping experience in Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a 2023 American slasher film directed by Eli Roth and written by Jeff Rendell based on a story by the pair. The film follows a small Massachusetts town that is terrorized by a killer in a John Carver mask around the Thanksgiving holiday. The film is based on Roth's fictitious trailer of the same name from the movie Grindhouse in 2007. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an 84% with a critical consensus that states, combining belly-busting humor with delightfully over-the-top gore, Thanksgiving is a feast for Grindhouse fans. It has a 79% audience score that states, some entertaining kill scenes make Thanksgiving a lot of fun for horror fans, even if it isn't all that scary. So, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Have you seen Thanksgiving before we watched it for the podcast?
No, I was interested, but I don't know. I just, once Thanksgiving came out and it passed and then the holiday passed, I was like, well, I don't need to see it, I guess.
The time for me to watch it has come. There'll never be another Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But
and then I continued to forget, I guess. I was surprised that it only came out in 2023. It feels like it's been out a little longer. Like I thought maybe 21. But
yeah,
because I felt
so
like
too.
I had passed many Thanksgivings without seeing it at this point.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was older, but yeah, we're only a year off. So
yeah,
that's not too bad.
That's insane to me. Because I swear I listened to a review last year and it had already been a year old at that point, or at least, but
So what'd you think? Did you like it?
I actually liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Me too. I love this movie so much.
Really? Okay, good.
Yeah, this is going to be another yearly thing. I'm going to watch it again when we get closer to, when we're recording this earlier, but by the time this comes out, I probably would have watched it again already. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. I liked it a lot.
It's a little Scream-esque, and I like that. I also like when you can just kind of watch people get killed off and not have any real remorse for them. You're just like, oh, that makes sense.
This movie is it borders on that super goofy tonally.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You're not taking it too seriously. The kills are good. There's some gory scenes in it, but it's all a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do love the little funny moments, when he beheads the guy and he feeds his cat right after. I was like, oh yeah, that's a nice man.
At first, for a split second, I'm like, he's going to go back and kill the cat. But then I was like, I don't think so. I think it's like, I might be a bad guy, but I'm not a monster.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd never kill a cat.
And then the whole setup, we'll talk about it with the plot, but the whole setup of the Black Friday scene was so ridiculous. And it just set off the tone perfectly for me.
Yeah, it was so stressful. Did you ever do the huge Black Friday shopping things, especially when it was still, before all the you could shop online and then you'd have to
Oh.
go through the crowds and stuff?
So actually shopping, no, but I worked Black Friday when I worked at Target for years. Yeah. So I experienced it on the other side, but I never actually went Black Friday shopping because I was like, I'm not going to waste my Thanksgiving doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have
I had family members that would do it, and I've gone out, I guess, with my mom Black Friday shopping, but it was already after people could wait until Cyber Monday and do stuff. So and we would go in the afternoon. It wouldn't be let's wake up at midnight.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so I've never done the whole let's wait in line and camp out and everything. I've never seen the appeal, honestly. It sounds super scary.
Yeah, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So and now seeing how all those people acted in a crowd mentality, I was like, wow, I'm glad I never did. So
I mean, okay, it was never like that.
It was extreme, but yeah.
Although, there were stories of people getting hurt during Black Friday.
I've heard
before.
About people getting crushed. So yeah, it's not completely untrue.
I was gonna say it was a little over the top, but not that over the top, to be honest.
Yeah,
because people have gotten hurt. It's not funny, but it is kind of crazy to think about being hurt because of shopping.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the scene because basically the whole plot revolves around revenge. So I try to point out everyone that does anything wrong to make sure that we understand why they're getting killed off.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's fair. Yeah, because Black Friday sets off the whole motion of this movie. But
yeah, for sure.
glad you liked it. I really liked it a lot. And to your point, having like somewhat of a Scream kind of feel.
Yeah. I love when
I
you
can definitely see that a little bit. Yeah.
I love when you kind of like have to look around like an entire town worth of people and you're like, well, he's suspicious. Well, probably not him or something like that. Or you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, when we get to the plot, we'll talk about it. But when we got to the end, it was almost like, well, this is the only person left to suspect. So
yes.
I felt like by the end, I'm like, I know who it is.
Yeah, I kind of figured it out as well. I was kind of like torn between two for a little while, but then once it got to like the middle-ish, I was like, yeah, it's got to be him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spoiler. You said
sorry.
the gender.
Sorry.
Ooh. No, it's
they, them.
they, them, she, her.
They, them, she, her.
It could be anybody. We don't know.
Dog. Maybe it's a dog. Maybe
That'd
it's
be a
another
twist.
cat. That's why he fed the cat.
Yeah, maybe.
They fed the cat. Also, I was just so taken aback by seeing Patrick Dempsey in this. I was like, McDreamy, what you doing here? Like, I guess he's been in some other stuff, like Scream 7 I saw, and I didn't know what he played in it, but
I don't think he's in Scream 7.
I was looking at other movies because I was like, I gotta compare. Like, he's usually does like rom-coms and like Grey's Anatomy stuff, so
I'm typing.
because I love him
So if
in
you
Maid of
hear-
Honor. That was like one of my favorite movies, like in high school. I loved him in that.
Let's take a little look-see. What is Patrick Dempsey? And this is the new Patrick Dempsey podcast,
Oh, yes.
where we take deep dives on all of Patrick Dempsey's movies.
It says he's in the original too, and I was like, never saw him in that. I'm very
The original
certain,
what?
the original Scream, and I'm fairly certain he was never in that.
Who lied? Who's lying to you?
Someone like buffed up his his movies to make this make more
Scream
sense.
3. He's in Scream. Oh, yeah, he's in Scream 3.
Oh, I thought it said 7, but maybe it was just like slashes, and I misconstrued that. As a
Oh,
7.
yeah, maybe they just lumped it like the Scream franchise.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
he's like a detective in Scream 3, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like kind of the love interest. Well, not really. No. I take that back. What is he in Scream 3? I don't
was
know.
trying to find any like reference to him being in any sort of horror movie, and I was like, I feel like this is way off kilter, but I guess he did some stuff back in the day that looks kind of more scary or sci-fi-ish, but
He's
like
in a
stuff
lot,
that we
so I
haven't
don't know.
really seen. I don't think like The Stuff 1985. That looks kind of
Oh,
like
the stuff. That's the
horror-esque.
white. That's the white stuff. It's like white slime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people like it's like marshmallow fluff, and then yeah,
Great.
they eat it, and then they're like, bleh.
Oh man. Okay.
We're gonna cover the stuff later. I'm gonna put it on the list. For
Oh
next
my
year.
gosh. Okay.
You did this to yourself.
I can't believe I did. I should have just left it as is, and I just been like, yeah. By the way, Patrick Dempsey's in this. Don't think too hard about it. Like,
Yeah, but
are you ready to get into the plot?
I am.
On Thanksgiving in Plymouth, Massachusetts, a crowd gathers outside the local superstore, Wright Mart, eagerly anticipating the Black Friday sales. Jessica Wright, teenage daughter of the store owner Thomas, grants her friends Gabby, Bobby, Evan, Scuba, and Yulia early access. The crowd notices, and a rival quarterback from another school announces that the store is open. The crowd surges forward, scaring off one of the two security guards, and press themselves against the glass outside the store until it starts to crack. Worried they will be crushed, Jessica instructs the other security guard to let them in, but the crowd breaks down the door on top of him as they stampede over him to get inside. And I was like, man.
Oh,
I was kind of on the side of the security guard that just kind of was like, no, I don't get paid enough for this.
I'm leaving. No, exactly. Like I'm not gonna die over these people.
Yeah, like a security, like he probably makes like $10 an hour. No,
Right.
not worth it.
Who do you think is really at fault in this situation? The group of friends and our main characters because they went in early and they like,
Kind of
We're
taunted
seeing-
everyone.
or can we not blame them because they weren't the ones who acted upon it? You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't rush the door, but they may have provoked it a little bit. Like who's at blame here, really?
It's kind of like everybody, like they kind of provoke it because especially Evan, he wants to go into the store to get like a phone or something, and he's just like showing everybody that they're buying stuff right before they're open. So the crowd is getting really revved up over the situation, and the quarterback also says, takes the megaphone from the cops and says the store is open, and they were not. So he's also to blame.
I'm leaning towards the crowd. Not that, I mean, they're all to blame.
Yes.
But if I had to pick one, I'm like, why did you do that? They're not open, and you know that.
I think there's plenty of people that, honestly, the killer should have killed off because they were just plain downright disrespectful to people dying in front of them.
Honestly, that whole crowd of people, all
should
like
just be dead.
200 people, should have just been killed off.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been a 20-hour movie where we're just following all these people being taken out. Yes,
honestly. Because one guy, he gets, like, I don't talk about him really as much in the plot, but he is just an extra kind of, but he nicks his throat on the glass coming in, and I was like, oh, how can you like stop that, because you have this whole crowd pushing against you, so everyone's forced in. Even like, I do notice, I rewatched it back just to make sure I was assigning blame to whoever was responsible, and you do see people like looking down like, oh, we are crushing this guy as they walk through, like
they're like
but some people are just like, whatever, I'm gonna get my waffle maker. Like,
yeah, dude. Life or waffle maker? What's more important here? Gotta have your waffles, Stephanie.
They're like $40 at most, but okay. Anyway, and it's free. But the guy that gets the throat cut, like he manages to get over to the waffles and grabs one. Like he just goes on autopilot. Like, I'm going to get that waffle maker, and he like
so funny
falls down, and someone just rips it out of his hands. Like I'm like, ma'am, he is dying. Let him die with the waffle maker.
Oh my God, I was like laughing out loud during this scene. It was so, because they just really captured the absurdity.
Yes.
Of Black Friday. Like, obviously they ramped it up to like 100, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone ripped a waffle maker out of someone's dying hands. Like, it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah, really.
The scene was hilarious. And
so
this
crazy.
Is like, during the scene is when I instantly knew I was gonna love this movie.
Oh yeah.
Off the bat.
But I did feel like really stressed for the employees. I was like, oh, like, I think we should just call it a day and be like, well, it turns out we don't want to have Black Friday anymore, so goodbye.
Canceled. Yeah. Oh my God, they would have been shot.
Oh yeah. So they do stampede over top of the security guard to get inside. Evan records the ensuing chaos on his phone as his girlfriend Gabby pushes people away from them. So he's like standing on top of the registers and like just recording all of this terrible things happening, and he's like, it's gold. I'm like, is it? We're watching people die.
You know what though, in terms of it being on the internet, yeah, it is gold, unfortunately.
I guess so, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Jessica's baseball player boyfriend, Bobby, and I have to stress that he's a baseball player because they keep calling him Golden Arm Bobby, notices that the security guard under the door is still alive and tries to reach out to him, but his arm is shattered by part of the crowd. Amidst the turmoil, Amanda Collins, the wife of Right Mart employee, is knocked over by the crowd, and two of the townspeople run her over with their shopping cart as they struggle to get free waffle makers. I'm like not sure at first how that killed her, but I guess they must have like really got like her head right underneath their shopping buggies, and they're like pushing them back and forth at each other.
Yeah, I like scalped her a little bit.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, like, I feel so bad for you. And she was only there because she brought her husband like dinner because he was called away to, like, they all shouldn't have been there. He wasn't supposed to even be there working that night. Somebody else had called off and he had to go. So she brings her husband leftovers, and he sees the crowd and he's like, maybe you should stay here. And I was like, that was the wrong move. You should have just had her go out the back. Like,
yeah, just like
everyone wants to get in the store. If you want her safe, get her out of the store.
Yeah, like, not in the middle of the war zone is probably not where you want to like
stand right here, just like, and look at everybody that's crowding around.
Just like, yeah, just backhand them, just like, get out of here.
It scalps her. It looks terrible. Altogether, Amanda, the security guard, and a customer are tragically killed, and after Bobby ghosts Jessica, he leaves town. So then a year later, it seems that the video has gone viral. Evan later on claims that he never posted it, but somehow they did get access to this video on his phone and posted it.
Someone did.
Evan. Yeah. And as Right Mark gears up for another Black Friday, despite all the chaos, and Bobby returns to Plymouth. Soon after, a waitress named Lizzie is severed in half by a figure in a John Carver mask outside the restaurant. Given Lizzie's connection to the previous year's incident, police suspect that those involved are being systematically targeted. Her death was, I mean, deservedly.
I was gonna say,
graphic.
She was an asshole.
Yeah, she was one of the people that killed the wife with the cart. So,
oh, was she? Oh, I missed it. Okay, yeah, no, JK, she deserved it. I thought she was just being kind of a Karen in the situation, but no, she was actively part of the murder. So you know what? Never mind. I take back what I was about to say.
But I was confused how she got split in half, but also
the dumpster lid fell on her body, and somehow that was enough to cut her in half.
I was like, was the lid metal? Because I feel like they're all plastic. And
don't ask questions. It was amazing. It was just white, right on the waist.
In half, perfectly. I was like, what? But beforehand, he does put her in the sink, it looks like he's gonna drown her, and then he opens the freezer door and sticks her wet face to it, so she has to rip off her skin.
Any kind of skin stuck to anything where you have to rip it. Ugh. Ooh, I kind of looked through my fingers for that. I was not about that.
For some reason, I suspected that since she was in a kitchen, he was going to put her in a fryer. But I was but they're closing up for the night, so everything probably is off.
I thought that was a fryer first when he was about to dunk her head. But no, it was. I don't know what's worse, being dunked in a fryer. I mean, that would have hurt more probably, but getting stuck to a freezer door and then having to. No.
Yeah, no,
ma'am.
No. And she does try to call for help, but her hand is too bloody to open up her smartphone. I'm like, oh no.
And it wouldn't recognize her face either.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I still have no idea how she got split in half. And there's a lot of deaths where I'm like, I'm not sure how that kills you.
It just did.
It just does. The attacker, dubbed John Carver, begins tagging Jessica and her friends in gruesome social media posts. Jessica hands over footage from the Right Mark chaos to Sheriff Eric Newland. Carver continues his spree, murdering others linked to the riot, including rival students. One has their neck broken, and the other is stabbed repeatedly while jumping on a trampoline.
Oh,
yeah.
That was very tense because I knew it was just one of those matter of time kind of things. Because you see her jumping, and then the knife goes through it. And,
oh, yeah.
Oh,
and it gets her quite a few times.
Yeah.
But this scene especially made me wonder. I was like, maybe it is a Scream thing and there's more than one killer, more people in on it, because this girl is doing this tease for this quarterback boyfriend of hers. So she's jumping on the trampoline and trying to show him her tatas.
Her tatas.
Her tatas.
Look at my tatas.
And taking off her panties and stuff. But anyway, so he snaps his neck while he's sitting on the stage watching her, and then instantly he is under the trampoline stabbing her, and I was like, that seems like a two-person thing.
He ran really quick, you know what I'm saying? He was just go before she even noticed.
Right. Very quiet run.
Perhaps it was an editing thing where a little bit more time actually happened between him twisting the neck and actually getting under the trampoline.
Yeah, maybe, but it just seemed like a long time for her not to notice that he wasn't saying anything. And then, yeah.
He was just too stunned to speak. You know what I'm saying? He was
Never
just
seen
too
a
entranced.
girl at this angle.
Wow.
He
just couldn't. He had nothing to say. He just had to watch the show.
Yes. And he also beheads the security guard that abandoned the store that night. But he does nicely feed his cat, like we talked about. So
yeah. So what? Why would you kill him? I don't blame him. What was he going to do?
I know. I was like, even if you would have had two security guards, I feel like, and this is the issue that they're having this year too. They're saying that they're upping security, but you had this horrible murder level riot. I think you just don't have Black Friday sales anymore is the thing, because people need to learn a lesson that if you respond this violently, you don't get to have them again.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least skip this one and then maybe revisit it, but him running away, yeah, maybe was cowardly, but like one extra person wasn't going to be
He
the
wasn't going
difference.
to do stuff. Yeah, like I don't know. And
Like, come on now, like,
and like I said, I was on his side for leaving because like that looked crazy. Like they were still outside and they were crazy.
Yeah, I feel like his death was unjustified, to be honest.
Yeah, he was just killed for being a coward. Evan and Gabby are abducted from school, and Yulia is viciously attacked at home with Carver shoving large pins into her ears. I wasn't even really sure what they were.
Were they knitting needles?
I don't know. They had like little wooden heads on them, but then they had prongs.
Those are for corn.
Oh, for
you
corn.
Stick them at the ends of your corn so you don't touch the corn.
Why would she have that in her bedroom?
I don't know. She has corn snacks every night. Okay, Stephanie, don't judge. Everyone has their little midnight snack. Yulia.
Okay, I will give her that she was packing up to leave for Florida, and her dad was like, "Go, let's go." They should have been out of there already, but let's.
No, yeah, it's just Yulia and her corn snacks. a little corn on the cob before bed.
Yeah, just a little bit. Jessica and Scuba arrive too late to prevent Carver from using a table saw to disembowel Yulia. And this seemed odd. Like, I know, like, her equilibrium was probably off from, like, the damage to her ears, but but he, like, puts her hand on the table saw, and I was like, well, why did she fall forward onto it? Like might as well.
Yeah, honestly, if that was the case, just, like, end it.
Like, she looked like she slowly descended onto it, like...
She's like, oh no, how can I stop this from happening? Oh no.
Yeah, it just seemed very slow, and I was like, wow, okay. I mean, granted, having your fingers off and your eardrums messed up pretty bad, but yeah, I don't know why.
Maybe she got like snagged on it.
Maybe.
And we just didn't, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very much like she probably could have just, like, stepped back, but she fully just falls on top of this saw.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, okay. So I feel like this could have been prevented a little bit.
Yeah. Scuba and Jessica buy a gun off a townsperson, and he gives Jessica a ring that contains, like, a very small knife. Very micro knife.
Hey, if you nick the right spot, that little knife could do a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just want to emphasize because it's in a ring. So I don't know. It seems when you talk about it, it seems like she just like pulls out like a paring knife or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No, not quite.
Yeah. As part of a plan to draw a Carver out, the Wright family participates in the Thanksgiving parade. Carver, disguised now as a clown for some reason, decapitates a mascot and uses smoke bombs to cause mayhem, seizing the opportunity to kidnap Jessica, her stepmother Kathleen, Thomas, and Scuba. And I don't know exactly what the mascot did, but I know that they talked about him when they were watching the security footage. Like, that's the kid that always plays the mascot. So he must have been one of the people that took a waffle maker from one of the dying people.
Dude, next time you go shopping, if you think about taking a waffle maker, think again. You're going to die.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have that waffle maker.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't recall seeing him. I
don't remember him in the first scene, but according to the security cameras, he is there. They also found out too, just kind of in passing, Jessica mentions that the stepmother, Kathleen, like deleted all of the security footage, but I was like, but we have the video from online, so why can't we figure out what's gone on from that?
Probably, if I had to guess, the online footage wasn't enough to see everything going on, because it was, from what I could tell, like a pretty quick video, and it was only showing a small part of everything that was going on.
Yeah, I guess
so maybe that's why it wasn't useful in any capacity outside of the immediate chaos right below him.
I don't know. I think it would have at least been applicable for some things.
Yeah, I think at this point I was really suspecting the mom at that, like, when they kind of figured out that she was deleting stuff, but then I'm like, that's too obvious.
Yeah,
like, that's too, like, I feel like you were meant to suspect her, and then we find out soon that no, it was not her, because
it's not. No, she gets it though. Like,
Yeah.
she gets it bad.
Bad.
Yeah, right now. In Carver's hideout, Kathleen is gruesomely prepared and cooked alive. Her body presented as a turkey at a grotesque table setting filled with hostages and corpses.
This is by far the worst one.
Yeah.
I have a vivid memory, and it kind of is very similar to this, and I'll explain why. Have you ever seen the movie The Green Mile?
No, I haven't.
So when they would give people the electric chair, they would put a wet sponge on their head because it makes it go fast.
Ooh.
Because the water. So there's a scene where they don't do that, and it like makes it, prolongs the suffering. And I remember vividly this guy getting electrocuted and his body's like getting burnt and stuff, and I puked.
Oh man.
And then I don't think it was because of that scene. I ended up having the flu, and that like kicked off the flu.
Oh, then you knew.
So now anything that revolves someone like cooking or frying, getting electrocuted where their body starts like charring and getting cooked, I'm like, I cannot handle that. So this scene, I couldn't watch it.
No.
I was like rocking back and forth with my hands covered.
And then right during the scene, like Charlie's only like watching it casually and then mostly just on his Switch. But he's like, did you hear about the girl that died in the oven of a Walmart? And I was like, what do you mean in an oven of a Walmart? And he's like in the bakery, like they have those big ones where you can walk in and put the trays on. She got locked in and burnt and cooked to death, basically. I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Now I'm going to watch this lady die like that. Cool.
Yeah, it was, I can't, stuff like that. Also another scene in Final Destination 3. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Oh, yes, the tanning bed.
With the tanning beds. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Roller coaster of love.
Yeah, so this was very not good for me. So yeah, this is by far the worst kill.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely just amps it up to a whole new level too. Like it's bad enough that he's like put them around the table as like this grotesque Thanksgiving thing, but now he's like, well, here I brought this cheerleader out for a wine bag. He uses this rival girl, the one that got hurt on the trampoline, or I guess he kept her alive like just barely enough to use her blood as wine. So he like a little corkscrew or something in her neck and takes wine and puts it in, or takes blood as wine and puts it in a cup and starts to serve the guest. And then Carver goes and bludgeons Evan to death live stream because he blames him for posting the video. And now they'll see how special he is for everyone to witness. And all the likes that come up, I was like, who's liking a guy being bludgeoned?
Yeah, I could see that happening too. I could totally be like, just knowing the world, I would not be surprised if they were like, well, I think, and now I'm misremembering people saying it was fake because they also did something very similar in the newer Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Oh, really?
Where they're getting all murdered on a bus and someone's like live streaming it and there's like people saying fake, not real. And it's like, honestly,
I guess that could be a thing. Ugh, but still.
I wonder if people just were also assuming like this isn't actually happening.
Right. What a fun Thanksgiving thing for us. And then he
a little treat watching people die.
Right. And then he cuts a chunk out of the cooked Kathleen and tries to force Thomas to eat her.
This is the worst of it. Cannibalism? No. That's another like, I'm okay.
And they're all like bound and gagged, and like Thomas like throws up through his gag. Ugh.
Which is a very realistic response.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't appreciate the puke. I appreciate the realism of that.
Yes. Oh, and just like the way she's like posed as the turkey and everything, like he cut off her head, and had it off to the side, and her like in that, I don't know, like turkey position, like the legs up and stuff. I don't know.
Our new position just dropped. The turkey position.
The turkey.
Wink.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. No, Stephanie.
However, Jessica and Scuba manage to escape with her knife. Carver pursues Jessica through the woods, but makes it back to town. She does like get hung up at at a fence and twist her ankle, and I was like, I felt that in my spirit. Like I always joke how I can't really go running because I'm so clumsy. I just get hurt. So like for instance, I ran with my dogs like maybe a week or so ago, and I stepped in like a small little pothole, and I was like, ow. Ow.
Oh no, Stephanie.
Like not like that bad, but still I was like, this is why I don't run.
Oh God. Yeah, no, that honestly, that'd be my luck too. I would just take a single step. I wouldn't even be running through the woods.
And your ankle just like
no, the whole bone in my leg would go. That's what would happen.
Done.
I guess I'm dying today.
Right. Yeah, I think if I was being chased by a killer, I think my whole body would just fail me. I'd just like fall over like.
Well, this is how I go out.
Yeah. She stumbles upon Newland seemingly unconscious on the pavement and follows a trail into a storage building for parade floats. Inside, she finds Bobby in the Carver costume, but Newland arrives, urging her to leave. Gunshots spring out, but Bobby has somehow fled the scene. And it's like several, so he comes out and he says, I think I shot him, but he got away. And I was like, I don't know how you do that, but okay.
I got nothing. I don't know. People are just where they need to be. And no explanation. It's fine. And
I thought it was the craziest thing. I was like, there's no way it could be Bobby because he was also involved. So
unless it was all a big trick. He's like, I will stage everything and then make it look like I'm not guilty.
I'm this mad over my arm. I hate you all.
He was pissed enough to just ghost everybody.
Yeah, he was.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, true. Later, the police assure Jessica that her friends and her father are safe. In Newland's office, Jessica spots wood debris similar to what she encountered in the woods, clinging to Newland's pants, revealing him as the killer. Dun, dun, dun.
Sloppy.
Yeah.
All over his leg. I'm like, come on, man.
And he's been really, like, closely connected with Jessica throughout this whole investigation too, like really encouraging her to come forward with any evidence and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know. It feels like a little too involved with the people that are I don't know, that are suspect to be killed, I guess. I don't know.
Well, he's the detective, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Well, he's the sheriff. But still, I don't know. A little too much.
Somebody's like, I don't trust him. I don't believe it.
Nah. Newland confesses his motive. After his wife left him, he and Amanda had an affair, resulting in her pregnancy. She planned to leave the store manager for him. Amanda's death in Wright Mart riot cost him both his love and unborn child. Consumed by vengeance, he targeted those he deemed responsible for the riot's chaos. He had planned to frame Bobby by knocking him out and forcing him into the Carver costume. Realizing Jessica has live-streamed his confession, Newland attacks her, but Bobby intervenes. So then they end up heading back into the warehouse where they have stored the floats, and in a final attack, Newland, enraged, tries to kill Jessica for thwarting his plans. Jessica cleverly uses her mother's bracelet to load a musket, shooting down a gas-filled balloon, causing an explosion that engulfs Newland. And I thought this was so far predicted out that this would happen, because she talks about how like she fired a musket a couple of times and how like the gunpowder makes her sick and it went off in her hand or whatever. I was like, okay, so she's gonna shoot them at the end. So
when you show the gun, you gotta shoot the gun. It's Chekhov's gun. You gotta do it. It's literally a rule.
I know,
and you gotta do it. So we knew that was gonna come back.
But I knew it was the ending for like all of the movie. It seemed
100%. You're like, this is definitely how she's gonna kill the killer at the end.
Right. Reunited with Gabby and Scuba, she learns Bobby is being treated at the hospital. Despite their relief, Newland's body remains missing. Jessica is later haunted by a nightmare of a fiery Newland attacking her. And then we just got to credits.
There is a sequel coming out, so...
Oh, I'm actually really excited for that. Let's do it.
We should go see it.
Christmas.
I'm not gonna lie, I really like Jessica as a final girl.
Really? Okay. She kind of reminds me of Lily Reinhart, but maybe it was just because Amanda is Jughead's mom from Riverdale.
Jughead's mom.
Yeah, okay. She was in a lot of other stuff, but that's how I recognize her. I know she's like in Anarchy and stuff like that, so, but...
okay. Yeah, no, I really liked her a lot, so I would be excited to see her again.
Okay, cool.
if she's in it. I'm assuming she is, but
I would assume so.
I hope so.
You think Patrick Dempsey will return to be now like a marred
all
killer? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, or I kind of hope they'll take it like a Ghostface approach, where it's like different every time.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would make it better.
You think it would be better than him being alive somehow?
Yeah, because then we would know the whole time it was him, or at least most likely.
Yeah, I don't know how they would pull in a new killer or how they would kind of make it make sense unless it's like one of his fam. But now now I'm thinking Scream, because Scream 2. Have you ever seen Scream 2?
No.
Do you mind if I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, anyone listening, I'm about to spoil Scream 2 if you haven't seen it. Well, one of the Ghostface killers is Billy's mom.
Oh, okay.
So she's taking vengeance for her son dying. So, going the whole family route. Like, you killed my dad, brother. Yeah, my boy. Yeah.
My boy.
So, I don't know. I don't know how they would connect it.
But. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, Amanda and the unborn baby, they're kaput, so I don't know who could avenge him. But I could see there being like another holiday or something where something happens with this town being awful and inciting another riot-like thing, or...
Well, it's called Thanksgiving too, so I don't know.
Oh, just another weird Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird if Thanksgiving too takes place during Easter. You never know. They might
I'm just
that.
Curious how they would set that up. Like, is it going to be just another Black Friday thing? Because the dad does eventually cancel Black Friday when they finally feel like they're threatened.
Could you imagine if they still kept it after all this? They're like, yeah, people are dying one by one, but let's still do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We won't be there. That's basically what he says at one point.
I'll probably be dead, so, it's fine.
Oh, did you see the end credits scene?
No, there's an end credit scene.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you gotta always fast forward to make sure at this point. But it was stupid. I was like, I don't feel like what that accomplished. It was more or less like a scene that they cut. Like, the daughter and the dad are talking in the office after she steals the footage of what happened on the Black Friday sale, and she walks away and he flicks off the camera. I'm like, oh, that feels like that was necessary.
It wasn't. It was just like a little fun thing they did.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Yeah, it's not important.
No, I didn't need to see it. It's fine. Do something for the sequel.
Yeah, right?
Unless it's him. Unless they're like saying he's the villain. Like,
you ruined my store's legacy.
Yes.
I could never have a Black Friday sale again.
Right.
There we go. That's the plot.
I could see it.
Are you ready to talk about the scary scenes and our scary scale?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I see you have The Riot on your list. What about The Riot was so bad?
It was just like anxiety inducing, watching people like just blatantly ignore people dying and like shoving people, and it was just a lot.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't like the big stress situations and stuff like that where it feels like everything's out of control. So it just felt that way for me. Not in the sense like I'm scared everyone's... Well, no, I was scared everyone was going to die. So I guess that was what I was having there.
You're like, actually, no, I was terrified.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I had a lot of fun with that scene, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, it's all ridiculous. So it makes a lot of fun to watch. But I would say that was one of the inciting incidents that make the movie what it is.
Yeah, I could get where you're coming from. I found the scene more funny than anything. So I was like, this scene's fine.
The guy getting crushed under the door, I felt bad for. And I more or less, I just feel like, oh.
Yeah, womp womp. That sucks.
Yeah.
Like, God, could you imagine? And you're like chilling in the afterlife, right? And one of your ghost friends comes over, like, how did you die? Like, I would make up.
Friday.
I died in a blaze of glory during war.
Yeah.
I would not say I got crushed at a Black Friday sale.
Right. I died protecting my family or something noble. Like,
nope.
No.
Black Friday.
I was told to open the door at a Black Friday deal and it didn't go well.
If you wanted to abridge it, it'd be like door. Just say door.
Just door.
I'll let you fill in the blanks.
Yeah. And I also put Kathleen being cooked alive and served to the hostages because it's just like a huge escalation. I mean, granted, his deaths were all pretty gruesome, but to be like, well, now you all will cannibalize this one lady. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that would be my number one scene. I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah, and just her in the oven, like you see her feet touching and getting burnt. And
if we're talking like gross out factor, this is like an 11.
Yeah.
Out of 10, or if we want a 14 out of 13, if we want to use
wow, it's your 14. Damn.
This scene in part, I cannot handle it, like shit like that. It's
Alex
like
has added a new degree.
14. I will never
14 degrees of screams.
Yeah, no, I don't want to jeopardize me potentially being sick and getting nauseous.
I did laugh when the turkey thing went off, though. Like her.
Oh, the thermometer.
The done thing. Yeah.
Yeah. She's cooked. She's cooked, baby. She's ready to be eaten. But I will say that goes to show, like, I really love this movie overall, that I will look past this one scene that I can't even watch just to watch the rest of the movie again. So if that's any indication, I will say overall this movie is, I don't want to say lighthearted because it's not the term I'm looking for. It's silly. There's an overall silly tone to it.
Yes.
So like it really makes the scary parts of it lighter, in my opinion.
Yeah,
not everything's goofy. Like they do take some of the deaths seriously, but the overall tone for me was like not scary.
Yeah, I get that. Honestly, like as long as you know that you weren't at the Black Friday sale causing all this problems, you feel good. You feel like this isn't you. So
right, that couldn't be me. Not my problem.
It couldn't be. So...
I've never gone to Black Friday. I would not be scared.
No, yeah, exactly. I don't have anything to worry about.
I see John Carver in the night running across the street, just like.
Yeah, and I just wave like, "Hey, how's it going?"
He went that way. All right.
Good luck. Get him. That's all they said.
Get him. I guess talking about the overall tone, what did you have the overall movie rated?
Oh, I put it as a 7. I didn't feel particularly scared of it, but like all of the goriness of the deaths and stuff, I had to put it up a little bit. I kind of debated on putting it a little higher, but just because some of the deaths were very gruesome, but also like I think the lightheartedness just kind of brings it back down.
Exactly. That's totally my point. I put it at like a 5. First of all, like slasher movies in and of themselves don't necessarily scare me all that much. I guess it just depends on the kills themselves. So the kills are gory, not necessarily scary, which there is a difference in my head.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking gore, this is like a 10, 11 kind of a thing. But as far as the overall tone of the movie, it's not super scary. So I think I'm going to give it a good old 5.
Oh, okay. Did you put it as a 9 before? I thought I saw it on the thing.
Oh, so okay, yeah. If we're backing up
to what we had it before.
This is before I saw the movie.
Okay.
Having seen the movie, I'm like, oh, it's silly. Like I didn't know going in that it had a comedic element.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was just a straight up people being murdered, massacred kind of a thing.
Right. Very serious, very straight laced. Yeah. No.
And then I saw it. I'm like, oh. Okay.
They do say quite a few like modern catchphrases. I can't think of all of them, but like with the whole streaming to make you feel special and stuff like that, that element just makes it more or less just kind of very eat the rich, honestly. They're not rich, but you know what I mean. It's very just like these people are not you. So as long as you've never massacred anyone, you're good. Like it's just, you don't have any... You don't have to, you don't have to feel that much sympathy for them.
Right. And like, I'm not going to say everyone deserves their deaths per se, but you're also like, I get where the killer's coming from.
Yeah. And I mean, there were a few of them where I was like, he took it a lot easier on this person than he did this person. Like the cheerleader, I felt like her death was much more gruesome than the quarterback. And really, if you think about the scene, like the inciting scene, she just happened to be there. It wasn't like she was really doing anything that I could point and be like, that's the thing.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know. I guess because he's only going after certain people who were there. It's not like random attacks. Like if you weren't there, you were safe. So it's very cause and effect. You did this, now you get the effect. So
right. So you don't feel that general anxiety that it could be anyone kind of thing.
Right. Like who he's going after. So I guess for the characters you're watching, their time is coming. But again, you're kind of like, well, you're kind of an asshole. So I'm not like...
Yeah. And I mean, even when he does come across other people as John Carver, like he darts people, like he darts Yulia's father and the security watching their house or something like that. So I'm like, it's because they're not involved. So
yeah, so they don't have
to die. Yeah.
Right. So, okay. I'll take it. I feel like if you just take away the gore from the kills and it was just like a PG-13 horror movie, like...
would have been nothing.
Exactly. So like I'm just trying to like take out the gore of it all. So if gore scares you, it's higher. Gore just makes me sick, not necessarily afraid. So that's my little caveat there. So if gore disturbs you, it's higher. But for me, it's more fun, honest. It's a fun movie for me, not a scary movie.
Yeah. I mean, I had fun with the kills, but the inciting riot was very disturbing to me just because I've just never been in that setting. But thank God. Totally but honestly, that makes me nervous about public settings in that kind of situation. And that's why. And obviously the gore of the deaths, I put it up as high as I did. But again, not super scary.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful and we'll always appreciate it. If you're watching the YouTube version, we would also appreciate it if you sub to the channel, and we would love to hear suggestions on what movies you want us to cover.
Yeah, and you can find us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.